Today, let's go over The Last Jedi, director JJ Abrams, and director Rian Johnson. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, ever since The Last Jedi released back in December of 2017, there's been a lot of backlash going against the movie. Now, since then, Rian Johnson has been involved in numerous interviews by countless websites and different types of media, etc. However, in a recent interview by The Flickering Myth, which, by the way, the full story can be found below in the description, go ahead and check it out, Rian Johnson goes over the mysteries that JJ Abrams created in The Force Awakens and how Rian Johnson handled that in The Last Jedi. So I'm going to go over the questions that The Flickering Myth actually questioned Rian Johnson and Rian's answers to those questions. So let's get right into it right now. So The Flickering Myth actually asked this: one of the things that surprised a lot of people about this film is the way you approached some of the mysteries JJ created in the previous film. I believe the term is that there were a lot of fanboy tears about what you decided to do. Rian Johnson laughs and says, "Delicious fanboy tears." The Flickering Myth goes on to question, "I am wondering what drove your decision to make those decisions and perhaps how JJ feels knowing he put those pieces on the table and, in some cases, you have taken off." Rian Johnson goes on to answer this. He states, "Each one of the decisions was made through the natural process of coming at it from what would challenge the characters the most. For example, Rey's parentage. The whole notion was what would be the toughest thing for her to hear, and if her search is for belonging and her place in the story, it would be so easy to give that to her by her being so-and-so's daughter, but that's super easier for her to hear, and I needed to find the hardest thing for her to hear. Just like I Am Your Father was the hardest thing for Luke to hear in the original trilogy, it took away the easy answers. In the same way that Empire took away the easier answers from the characters, I felt it was the job of the movie to do the same thing," he goes on to state. "And that also means realizing that the most interesting thing with Snoke was taking that dynamic off the table going forward. The idea with this movie was to have Kylo, the Ascendant, and have Kylo becoming the villain he wanted to be in the first movie." He goes on to say, "Once he does that, then let's have him be at the head of things. Let's get rid of the Supreme Leader and have Kylo genuinely ascend. That seems like it makes all the sense in the world." So that's what Rian Johnson had to say in response to the Flickering Myth actually questioning Rian Johnson about how JJ Abrams laid down all of these mysteries in The Force Awakens and how, in some cases, Rian Johnson actually took those off the table in The Last Jedi. Now, how do you feel about this in The Last Jedi overall, guys? I know that one of the big things that Rian didn't approach that a lot of people actually wanted answers for is, of course, everything to do with the Skywalker lightsaber. Now, we do know that in The Force Awakens, right, when Maz Kanata revealed that she's actually had this for ages, a lot of people were actually crossing their fingers and expected to get an answer in The Last Jedi when Maz said, that's, a question for another time, indicating the next movie would be the place and time where we would indeed learn all about how Maz got her hands on the Skywalker lightsaber. Now, those mysteries were all pretty much, ignored by Rian Johnson. However, there's still a chance that those will actually be answered in Star Wars Episode 9 by director JJ Abrams. But anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.